Yo, what is up, THO? Welcome back to yet another episode of The Saloon. Joining me tonight, as always, is Sage. How's it going, man? Oh,
Shoot.
I was deaf in the Discord. Oh my god. Sage, how's it going?
It's great, man. I was sitting here talking, thinking that, said I certainly did. And I hope everybody in THL had a good weekend as well, and they're ready for the Saloon because we've got a good show for them tonight.
Yep. And as I fix his picture, it's RonMexico. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going? Excited for playoffs in this Hero series. This is going to be an exciting one. We had just a crazy season. Again, just a completely stacked field, and we finally are at that point where it is playoffs week. We get to recap, the final week of excitement and talk about the games coming up, and most importantly, not only our guest, but will be a caster tonight as well for the first time in I don't know how long. Pretty excited.
It's been a while.
Couple of years, maybe. Evening, morning, even.
Also, we have THL legend with us, Rebobson. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I'm currently running on pretty empty, so kind of just sleep deprivation is fueling me at the moment. So excuse anything I say, and for all the wrong predictions I make earlier, it's because it's 2 a.m. right now. That's what I'm
just add an extra edge to your wit is what I'm hoping for.
You're too kind, sir.
All right, but anyways, Sage, take us away with the player of the week.
Yeah, so last week, it's me, Mike V, was the Hero Player of the Week. And congratulations, Mike, on getting not just Hero, but also Legacy Player of the Week. And so they had this to say about Mike here. They said, talk about a comeback week for Mike V. After a rough start in Hero, he started out the week with a sweep for the returning champs Tan Pam Surf Slam to help them get a solid win going into the final week of the regular season and keep his team in striking distance of a playoff spot. Thank you, Based, for that little write-up. And we reached out to Mike and did not get a response. So we'll take that as no comment. I'm sure, Mike, if you're watching and you'd like us to, say something on your behalf, you can go ahead and DM it to me, and I'll mention it next week. All right? There's always next time.
Awesome. All right, so we'll start off with the meta report. And pretty interesting. We saw, once again, a big drop-off between the most popular lineup and everything else. 11
Oh
brings.
my God, there's a lineup that had a 10% game win rate.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
that is real rough.
But I mean, in fairness, it was only brought 3 times for whatever that's worth. In the meantime, 11 brings of Demon Hunter, Hunter Paladin, and Warrior, showing a positive win rate in matches and in games, so not bad. Unfortunately for Demon Hunter, Hunter Rogue, Warrior, the 3 times that it was brought, it was horrifically bad. 0-3 in matches and 1-9 in games.
Yeah, there must be something wrong with that lineup. I would probably recommend avoiding it for anybody out there looking for a lineup to do.
Next level strategy advice: the lineup that wins 10%, don't bring that lineup.
0% win rate, 10% game win rate. That don't look good, man.
I think I would like to advise Dab on it that is the best lineup. It's very high performing, and all 5 of you should bring it this week.
Smart.
Okay.
Yes. Sincere recommendations from Rebobson.
On the other hand, there is
imagine being
another
dumb
one.
enough to bring Shaman. Indeed. 1-4.
There is another lineup that didn't do super hot and got brought 6 times. Demon Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Warrior, 33% win rate, 41.67 game win rate. Like, that's not great. I mean, it got more wins than the bottom one, but not good.
That is a lineup which makes no sense. It's just like, I'm going to bring this deck which beats Paladin, and then I've still got to ban Paladin. oh no, I've got 2 decks and I lost. Fuck.
Yeah, I think that might have been what happened. Maybe they won. Maybe the people that won their matches probably just like won an uphill battle against their opponent, and then went the
they,
distance with the rest.
They played
I'm
5
endlessly
Solarian
amused
Primes.
about this discussion about this specific lineup because not only did I bring it and win with it last week, but I brought it this week, and so did Inzi. This exact lineup, we actually have a mirror against each other.
All right,
Well,
That
so
we
that's how
will
it's
see
gonna get a
on our
win.
fight tonight. But I
That's
mean,
gonna
as
get a win.
previously established, I am an idiot. So
well, no, I was gonna say I'm not surprised that Inzi brought it, but what are you doing, Ron?
I mean, I'm also dumb. So
Yeah,
They're good
yeah.
class. When I saw that lineup, I was like, I mean, they're just good classes, right? Like you just bring strong classes and beat your opponent with them, right? I think that's the idea.
Or you just puzzle box people.
I was actually just throwing darts at a class dartboard. I don't know, I'm weirdly consistent with my dart throwing.
No. See, I don't believe you because I know your luck, and I know you would never avoid both Shaman and Warlock.
That's true.
Oh my goodness.
I'd immediately hit Shaman and Warlock.
Yeah.
Shaman and Warlock, yeah. Bring them in the playoffs, people. They're real good.
But yeah, as far as just the rest of the overall meta trends, it's interesting to see. You know, Paladin still holds our top spot as far as bans go, and our top win rate overall for the season at 56%. Warrior still holding strong in both bans and win rate, and the rest of the classes are really just pretty middling. There's some bad ones, obviously, in Shaman and Warlock, and Druid even, probably more influenced by post nerf. But Demon Hunter slightly in the positive, and then a few others that are coin flip.
I'm gonna say, Ron, you just gloss right over Demon Hunter. You're like, yeah, Paladin and Warrior are looking pretty good. Look at Demon Hunter; it's doing better than Warrior.
Well, yeah, I was specifically referencing, 56 and a 51%, and 154 and 135 bans, which is a lot different from 70 bans and a sub 51 win rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right, but
just saying.
I was looking at last week, not overall.
Well, it would help if you were listening to me talking about overall, but then you wouldn't be Sage.
Yes, no.
Yeah. He's just going to do his own thing, you know?
So, it's cool.
All right, but yeah.
Always.
Anyways, time to get into our last week review. I'm going to start off with purple, and just a little trend that I noticed, and something to keep in mind for a minute here. You notice that every team in purple had a red AOS.
Wow.
Every team in purple had a red AOS?
Every team in purple had a red AOS, and we'll see how that...
I didn't notice that. Wow, that is actually really interesting. How does that happen? You would think there'd need to be, like, if there's red, there's got to be green too somewhere, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, because how it works apparently is it compares your AOS to both conferences. It isn't just conference specific. So,
okay.
So people are gonna understand why that is when we look at teal.
Oh, so is teal like all green?
Yeah,
probably.
That
makes sense.
Inzi's saying he's confused of how they're not all the same number. How they calculate AOS is it doesn't include the week when that team played, or like it doesn't include the weeks that your opponents played you. So that's how they're leaving out the weeks when you played those opponents. So the numbers are going to be slightly different for each team. So anyways,
I feel like
but that definitely shows, I mean, if we didn't already know, that purple really was kind of head and shoulders above everything else as far as like overall power level and the team makeups and conferences.
Yeah. But anyways, time to start off with NPH versus IGN. And Ron, would you like to run us through this one?
Absolutely. So NPH completing a perfect season, and in the 1 seed almost completing that perfect season, came just short with 6 wins and 1 loss. Wasn't close in this loss, it looked like, with Wild9 taking a sweep for IGN, but that was the only win for IGN as NPH just continued an incredibly dominant season. 3-1 win for Skittles over Your Mum Ked, 3-1 for Posca over Dibs, 3-0 for Disco over Debs, and a 3-2 for Shunsui over King of Pixel. Just wow. I mean, this team really just never missed a beat all season long, and they're heading into the playoffs with all of the momentum. So it's going to be exciting to see, can No Pros here pull off the completely perfect season.
Was that really Pee Wee's first loss of the season?
Yes. That
Wow.
is why it says
Yeah.
6-1 next to his name.
Wow. I'm sorry, Pee Wee.
Couldn't quite make
I
it.
wish he'd won, because then I would have got like the perfect picks for last week on this this matchup.
Yeah.
But damn, man, and with a sweep, wow.
Yeah, really impressive season by Wild9. Unfortunately,
really is.
IGN, couldn't quite put it together. They started to pick it up towards the end of the season, and Wild9 had a great season, but unfortunately, the rest of the team couldn't quite get there. And in such a competitive conference,
Yeah.
just too much of a hill to climb.
Yeah, but what they ended up 2-5, which doesn't sound that impressive, but they started 0-4, I believe. So nice little momentum pickup. And this is definitely.
I think they won their third week because that was when they played Dead Legend.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And if you play Dad Legend this season, you win.
Yeah.
Who was Dad Legend's one win?
Rough season for Dad Legend.
I don't know. Oh wait, no. Hold on, I'll look that up. But anyways, keep going.
Yeah.
So just
the only person on NPH that seems to be struggling is Pasca, and Pasca is a very good player. Like it's out of character for him. Maybe he's just not gelling with the meta super well, but I'm sure like playoffs. Now that he's in playoffs, he's probably gonna really put his nose into the book and try to make sure he wins going forward. He picked up his second win of the season this past week, and I think like him and Dibs were both struggling, so like it was kind of a tough call there. Feeling good about MPH, man. They have a really strong chance to take it all the way.
Yeah, I mean, top point earner, no losses all season. And what's really compelling about NPH is the fact that Pasca was one of their absolute best players all season long last season as far as total win rate. So every season, it seems, NPH just has someone else stepping up. They keep the same roster every season, but every season they're still incredibly good. And different players alternate on who's going to be dominant in a season.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really just speaks to the depth of the team where, normally a team, if they would have their star player, all-star, was runner-up for MVP or whatever I know he was in contention, they would have that player go down in a season, their season would probably be over. But no, you just have everybody else stepping up, which is just incredible.
Impressive.
Imagine if they still had Electabuzz going like 6-1.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Shansui's no slouch, though, with a 4-2 season himself. He really performed admirably in Electabuzz's absence. But important to note that Electabuzz has frequently been one of their best performing players on the team. And they pulled off this perfect season without him.
Also, it was.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Sorry, go ahead, Ted.
Week 2 against ATL was Dead Legend's one.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm pretty sure that NPH won't be able to stay together next season. And I find it interesting to see who exactly they're going to end up rotating out, because they probably just need to rotate one person. I would definitely think that they're going to stick together as much as they can again and run it back.
I imagine it's going to be the 5 seed. That top 4 has been together for quite a while now, I think.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm sure they like Shunsui, but I mean, you've already got the 5 rotated once. Probably just end up doing it again.
They're currently at 1872 PR.
It's not actually
just barely over. But if they wind up winning the title, then PR difficulties could come about.
Well, I don't even think it will be the title if they win this week. I think they're done.
Yeah, they're not going to lose that heavily in the semifinals to get them back below 1850. It would still have to be quite a sizable loss, I think, even this week for it to happen.
It would have to be at
that's
least 4.
probably not happening.
No.
Now, if you want to talk about a team that definitely can't stay together going into next season, that's going to be the Stoners.
Yep. So next up we have Challenge Stoners versus F2L Black, and I mean, Rebobson, I'll let you run through this one.
We got fucking stomped. Kind of the way it rolled out. I'm happy to say I was the sole winner. I got a sweep over Inzi, but Dada swept Itachi, although that was after everything had been decided, and I think Itachi brought 4 Highlander decks. Always just in time. Turtle and 3 Hugs all got 3-1s in actual matches, though. So yeah, wasn't the best week for us, and we have had the most diverse first and second half to a season I think it's possible to have.
Yeah, big props to F2L for being able to sit on their hands for 3 weeks and still make
Actually 4 weeks.
playoffs. 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We made, I think it's like 63 points in the first 3 weeks, and then like under 40 in the past 4.
That is an unreal amount of points that y'all earned in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That is just ridiculous. That is like you guys had like 2 perfect weeks and then one that was sub perfect or something, and just what the hell?
Yeah, I blame Hades.
Fair.
And
Did the release of Hades actually coincide with the first loss, and then it's been all downhill?
But between Hades and Among Us, I think there have been some distractions. People have not been playing as much, and it's showed. Hopefully this week we start actually winning again.
Yeah.
The HSA boys have been playing a ton of Among Us. And it's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say, especially Booze and Ghost.
Yeah, I think Chronic in particular has been streaming just a bunch of Among Us and Hades, and that has coincided with losing games for I think everybody.
On the bright side, F2L can view this as very clever PR management, whereas Challenge Stoners, there is zero PR management going on over here. There is no chance that this entire roster can be brought back for this team in the next season. They're already, I think, over 2,000 PR. A bunch of fairly new players to THL. Apparently played in Tespa and had some success there, and definitely showing that success here.
Because they've all had, the first 10 games, you get the
2
bonus
times
multiplier.
Yeah.
So they've all just won a shitload with the 2 times bonus. So they're all at quite.
Yeah.
They've got a 4 seed at 427 PR.
Yeah.
Pretty absurd. Yeah.
And
it's just really funny.
Not to mention that 4 seed won 6 and 1 this season. Also, I don't know how we haven't mentioned it, but Dordor completing the perfect season.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we mentioned Agent PWE almost got that perfect season with 6 and 1. Well, there is a perfect season. Year of Dardar Binks, as we've been hearing all season, as he goes 7 and 0 on this season to complete the perfect regular season. Congratulations.
I don't know if there's anybody in Twitch chat that knows the number of people that have had perfect seasons, but that's a very small list in THL.
Nice. Yeah. Rarefied air for sure.
Yeah.
Gonna go for Brewski's record of consecutive wins.
Yeah.
From many years ago.
And
I think he got to 13.
Diamond is like 7 people have had perfect seasons. So
Brewski was unreal.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember that record because I broke the record and then he broke it again the week later, and it's not been broken since. That really fucking pissed me off.
Well, the way that the meta has kind of changed over time, I don't know if that's a record that's really ever going to be touched unless they really start scaling back on some of the RNG.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've said that they're gonna dramatically, like, this is going to be the most RNG that's ever in the game at one point. We just kind of gotta wait it out, which is not fantastic for right now, and I think that's why there's a lot of kind of player engagement issues, which is why we've seen so many good players have mediocre to shit seasons. It's because a lot of people were just like, I can't be bothered to play any more mage or priest or rogue, and just created by.
Yeah.
So I think player engagement has been like a big reason just good teams have sucked. The teams who've been doing well are just the ones who've just kept playing this entire time.
Yeah, definitely a challenging meta, an interesting meta with a lot of highly adaptable things that you need to have in your strategy, and just like the ability to completely pivot to a new strategy on the fly is not always something that everyone does well with. So you can have a really technically sound good player in a different meta, and then in this meta with all the created by stuff, it just completely messes with what their strengths are. So I can definitely see that sometimes someone who you would expect to dominate in seasons past struggles in a season like this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
But we'll see.
completely agree with Inzi saying in chat. He's playing the least Hearthstone he has in 5 years while not just being on a break from it, and I feel like I know I'm the same. I know most people are the same. I feel like if I'm loading up the game right now, I'm playing Arena.
I play a lot of Battlegrounds.
Dual class
If I'm
Arena
loading up
is
a
fun.
game right now, I'm playing Among Us. I ain't even touching Hearthstone.
All right, but anyways, let's move on to our next matchup: Wild Aces versus ATL, and ATL showing up finally. We have a
Speaking of PR management,
Yeah,
We have-
very clever PR management on
we
the
have-
Wild Aces side. And I just want to say real quick, I'm sorry, Brushy, for not picking you last week.
All right. Anyways, we have Blue Spartan in the 1 winning, sweeping 2s. Triss in the 2 taking Risen 3-2. In the 3 seed, we have Brushy Tuna beating CMAC. 4 seed, Free Hong Kong beating 9. 5 seed, Matty Ebbs beating Lord Zio Light. And 18-point week for ATL. Very impressive week, but they were just way too far out of it.
Yeah, they didn't even have a chance to crush dreams, but they went out with a bang.
Yeah.
So, you got to hand it to them.
Also, big shout out. We had another perfect season here, and that's Risen.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the perfect season that you want to see. I think this speaks to the point I was just talking about with the created by meta.
Yeah.
Because Risen has an incredibly good overall, like historical hero win rate, but this season couldn't find a win, and I think it could easily just be tied into the fact that it might not have fit his strengths as much. It's a lot harder to adapt to a meta where there's so many different random things happening.
Yeah, plus there's also the fact that I think he might have been a tad bit overseeded this season. You can see he's
true.
Yeah,
It's asking a lot to put a 336 PR. Whatever he started at, it couldn't have been much over 450 or something.
And it was probably closer to 400. I can check on that real
Yeah,
fast.
I think it was closer to 400. Like he would have been a solid 2 seed if he had never quit THL. But like coming back and joining Hero in the 2, like you're asking for trouble. If you're rusty in the 2.
What were we saying, Rebo?
I was just saying, I'm not sure that I think his break from THL, he might also have taken a bit of a break from Hearthstone, so he's just not been playing as much. And when you're just super rusty, thrown in the 2 seed in this kind of purple conference, you just get fucked.
He started at 415.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I mean, very possible.
Yeah.
Could have been a Hearthstone break. Could have been the meta. There's a lot of things that could have gone down. But still, nonetheless, it was an impressive finish for ATL's season, knocking off the team that I definitely think had the most hype coming into the season. Whether or not Wild Aces was going all out, knowing they already had a playoff spot locked up, seeing that CMAC brought Shaman, for instance, maybe Wild Aces was memeing a little bit, taking a little bit of a break.
There's also a Warlock there in the 1 seed.
Yeah, there is a Warlock for 2. So, it's hard to say if Wild Aces was actually like going all out, but we did get to cast CMAC versus Brushy Tuna, and Shaman Bring notwithstanding, CMAC definitely played the games well, and that was a close, exciting one.
Yeah.
As far as the rest of the series, I guess Lord Zio Light had a DQ against Matty Ebbs here because I don't see bans.
Yeah, that does seem like it.
Do you guys want a good stat?
Yes.
But between them, Wild Aces this week brought all 10 classes.
Huh.
Fascinating.
But it did.
Maybe that was the plan.
Maybe.
I really
it's
hope
the
that
only
was
one
the
I can think of. Imagine if they just
they
brought
wanted to,
their classes just entirely in alphabetical order. So choose had just gone Demon Hunter, Druid, Hunter, Mage. Just kind of gone down like that. That's what I want to see. Next
and
time
hopefully at
someone's
least one
really
of them
going for
brought
the meme.
all Vectis decks.
Oh my god.
We haven't reached Bug for Life yet.
True.
Anyways,
We'll get there.
moving on. BBYC versus Dab Legend. Sage, I know these are 10 of your boys, so go at it.
Yeah, BBYC versus Dad Legend. Neither of these teams ended up making playoffs, unfortunately. I'm sad about that. But these are both my boys, and I was rooting for BBYC last week. I'm just a little closer to the guys on this team. You love to see it. Blue Sombrero brought Shaman, and he won with it against Isocles, going 3-2. In the 2, Boozosaurus taking it 3-1 over Starlax. In the 3, Doohan bringing in his first win in Hero with a sweep over Yellow Dart. In the 4, Hockey Boys with Shaman taking it 3-1 over 2-star Mako. And then in the 5, Clarity, struggling a little bit this season, but taking the win 3-1 over Scritch. So ended up going 14 for BBYC versus Dad Legend 11. And I was definitely rooting for BBYC, but it was a close match. I think the one sweep that Doohan put in definitely made a big difference for BBYC last week.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about how insanely hard Hero has gotten over the past few seasons, and this is a prime example of it. BBYC, they've retained most of their core that took them to the championship game. Just what, I think 3 or 4 seasons ago? Now all of a sudden they can't even make playoffs. That just shows how much the skill level's increased.
Yeah, Purple Conference was insane. They did get close, but important to note that even if they had pulled the full sweep over Dad Legend, they still would have fallen short of playoffs by 1 point.
Yep.
I think there was some there was some consideration that Lotus just wasn't quite performing as well as they would have liked him to. He was having a down season, unfortunately, and he ended up leaving. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And they brought in Doohan, who is like, don't even look at Doohan's PR, all right? Like, it doesn't matter. Doohan is just a stud anywhere you put him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic THL trick, just like bring in an insane wild player who's just never hit legend in standard. Boom.
Yep.
Very clever.
All right. Anyways, let's move on to deal. So we're starting with Dab on 'em versus My Chemical Scholomance. And Ron, go ahead.
All right, so Dab on 'em versus My Chemical Scholomance, and Dab on 'em just wow. They really wanted to lock up that #1 overall seed for Teal here. They pretty much already had it coming into the week, and it would have taken a lot to get overtaken, but they just wanted to make sure there was no way that happened, that they got overtaken. Dabs lost in a sweep to Atomos in the 1 seed. The rest of the way was all Dab on him. Based beating Donde 3-0 in the 2. Astrofrog with an incredibly good season, going 6-1, capping that off with a 3-0 win over Medusas in the 3. We had Buse with a 3-1 victory over Anfall in the 4, and Diamond with another really strong season, 5-2, getting a 3-1 victory over Saku in the 5. And that's a lot of momentum for this team heading into the playoffs. It's exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Dab on them is doing God's work this season. They are doing very, very well in the Teal Conference. Their one loss being to TMI. And I'm proud of that. They'd have been perfect if it wasn't for us. Isn't that right, Rob?
You can count on Sage to bring that up.
Of course.
Yes, they did have their one loss to TMI. That one was super close, so we would be very happy if we wound up getting a rematch and being able to pull off the same thing, but that remains to be seen.
Also, big shout out to Diamond. He's saying in chat this is his first positive season in Europe. So congrats, bud.
Congratulations,
Oh, wow, nice.
Diamond.
Not only first positive, but 5-2. That's an excellent season.
Really good season. But
he's a changed man.
It's like 5 seed all-star worthy season right there, all right? Like, bear in mind, All-Star voting is going to start soon because, I mean, the regular season's over. So,
Oh yeah. Also, sorry, something to point out. I talked about this in purple, but AOS here, all green down the board.
whatever,
That's right.
man. That doesn't mean nothing. All right.
That don't mean nothing.
I mean,
AOS,
I do
AOS.
think it means something. I think it's pretty clear that purple was just pretty dominant and had incredible teams throughout. I do think teal was probably the more balanced conference out of the two. There were more teams that were fighting for the playoff spot towards the end of the season. But purple, as we kind of projected before the season started, looked like the stronger conference on paper and held that up.
Yeah, and like I would guess what that means is because more points probably means there are more close matches. Where there were probably more sweeps in teal, there were probably more 3-2s in purple.
True.
Because that's
Yeah.
just going to generally add more points to the system. But anyways, next up, transfer students versus AskHS and Rebobson. Go ahead, run us through this one.
Yeah. So this one was also not the closest.
No.
Transfer students were just kind of trying to wrap up some points here. Buck for Life obviously just swept with Vector's Mage against Mr. Python. Santa beat Zangat 3-1. Luma took the L against Dr. Bombed. I never know how to say that.
I think it
G-Kick
is Dr.
lost.
Bombed.
Good. G-Kick lost 1-3 to Chewbacca. Chewbacca having like a pretty impressive season. Now finished it at 6-1. So another big contender for All-Stars.
Yeah.
And then Chaser was able to sweep Kel to bring it to 15-9, 3-2 win. And just when I was looking through all the weeks, there's only 2 5 seeds in Teal who have a positive win rate. I don't even know how that happens.
Well, I think Chewbacca is considered a 5 seed for All-Star because he was in the 5 for most of the season. He just jumped
Same
up
as
at the end.
G-Kick.
Wasn't G-Kick a 5 seed for most of the season as well?
Yeah. So if you think about that, Shu and G-Kick took most of the 5 seed wins and then bailed from the 5 seed at the end. It makes sense why there's not a whole lot of positive 5s.
That doesn't make sense. Transfer students have really screwed up the seeding for All-Stars. Nobody knows what's been going on all season.
This match was really entertaining, though, I thought, for a multitude of reasons. Like, transfer students versus AskHS was literally the game to decide who makes playoffs, and as it happened, both of them did.
Yeah.
But if AskHS had beaten transfer students, I don't believe transfer students was going to make it. Maybe it would have been really close because Colt did finish 94, but it was very, very close.
So if this scoreline would have been reversed, AskHS 15 over transfer students 9, transfer would have made playoffs by 2 points.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of significance with these matches as they were being played because naturally we didn't know how the rest of the outcomes were going to go. And I thought it was also really interesting that G-Kick versus Chewbacca match that was on stream, that was basically to decide who was going to be the Teal 5 seed All-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
because those two are in direct competition with each other, so one of them has the head-to-head win.
And also something to note, there was another perfect season, Alien Santa 2-0.
Go away.
Hey,
Santa.
Congratulations, Alien Santa.
Oh, Santa.
Yeah, and he did not do very well last season, if I recall correctly. So I am happy to see him pounding out those W's.
All right, but anyways,
pounding him.
Next up, we have TMI versus Burdenators. And Sage, go ahead.
So, we had a weird week last week. It was interesting. We lost the Burdenators. But we were secured a playoff spot pretty early in. I think that there was some concern and whether or not we'd actually make it at one point, and then eventually we're just like, well, we're going to make it anyways. So it's kind of whatever at this point. Take it easy, guys. But in the one, we've got Reggie, aka FBM2, taking it 1 over Rescue Wabbit, and in the 2, Adair going 3-2 over our hat. Oh my goodness, I actually did not see this one coming. I was a little surprised, but it's fine. We made it. It's good. In the 3, RonMexico, my boy, taking 3-1 over Tweeg, Tweeg. And in the 4, Cherub sweeping with Warlock in his lineup against Travis Chrono. And in the 4, Swashbuckler going 3-2 over Gem Philos. So yeah, we made playoffs, and that's all I'm really taking away from this.
I have a question, Sage.
Sir,
Whose idea was it for Travis to ban Warlock? Was that a joke? I feel like that may have contributed to the sweep in some way.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, honestly. We are this week.
I think he got the names mixed up
soon.
and thought he was playing Tweeg and did the Zoo respect ban, and then
That's
realized
fair.
at the last moment, oh wait, I'm actually playing Cherub. Oops.
Yeah, so I will say that Travis has been permanently subbed out for Super Murloc going into the playoffs. So a little change up in the lineup there.
Yeah. All right, and then.
But yeah,
Sorry.
just want to say congrats to Burninator's for getting their second victory of the season, even though they do still finish out the season in last place for Teal. It's got to feel good for Silver to beat up on Sage's team that also features me, two of the biggest albatrosses for the Burninators last season. So you got a little bit of measure of revenge there, Silver. Sorry we let you down last season, but hope you can take that consolation prize of knocking us down a peg at the very last week of the season.
I mean, I was gonna say the revenge probably would have been better if they had literally anybody from last season's roster on their team, but
or if they'd started the season like with more than 300 under max PR.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, there was a lot of PR that was floated on this team that didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, but anyways, final matchup: Cult versus Hamhamster Slam. We're going to see Heat Shock taking it 3-1 over Nails in the 1. Lance taking it 3-0 over Marty B in the 2, which I just want to say big shout out to Lance. He started at 0-3, but, it's Lance. He's a really insane Hearthstone player, and he figured out how to play the game again and finished off the season 3-1. But 3 seed, I unfortunately lost JR. 4 seed, Wash in the Wind, beat Roadrunner. 5 seed, Quaz with the sweep over me, Mike V. And big shout out to Quaz. He is at 21.22 PR.
Woo!
He's getting close to breaking 50.
Right.
In the positive.
He's getting really close
Congratulations,
to 50.
Quaz.
If you guys had made playoffs, then he could have broke 50 this season.
Yeah.
True.
But
he'll get it next season.
And speaking of making playoffs, Ted, come on, man. You're going to lose to JR like that? Come on, bro.
I mean, it's funny because Ron said about in Purple, even if Booty Bay had a perfect week last week, they would have missed by 1 point. Even if the Cult had a perfect week last week, they also would have missed by 1 point. Which is kind of funny to look at.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Yes, we just had 2 teams that were really close, and no matter what they could have done in the final week, couldn't quite get there. So we did have a good amount of separation, like heading into this week, and it was going to take a lot for our teams that were mostly out of it to make it in, and it just didn't materialize.
It's and you can see Tamham's only finishing 1 point behind Cult, so if they would have pulled out a win this week, they would have likely made it. But it's also,
yeah, true. Tanpams are defending champion last season. No repeats here, as they are going to miss the playoffs by about 8 points.
Yeah, 8 points, which they had a slow start to the season and picked it up towards the back half, but just wasn't enough.
But the past 2 seasons, champions have both finished near the bottom this season with very similar rosters to what actually won in their respective seasons.
Very true.
Also, F2L was the only team to make playoffs with a negative winning record. We went 3-4.
Yeah, that'll happen when you pick up so many points in the first 3 weeks and then punt the next 4.
It was a hard punt. We just need to remember.
Or wait, hold on. Was vacation the word that was used? My bad. Took a vacation.
We just left. mentally. I think that's what happened.
Well, you
Hopefully
still
we
got a
come
little
back.
bit of time, as in, maybe a day or two to come back mentally, because playoffs are about to start.
All right.
Word.
Well, we'll get right into that. But first, Ron, you have a few words?
Absolutely. So we don't quite have to rush through it so much because we have a lot less to cover. So I won't do my auctioneer commercial.
We're 40
unless
minutes
you
in.
really want me to.
We're 40 minutes in. You might as well.
All right, I'll go fast then. Hey there, Twitch viewers. If you subscribe to Team Hearth Legends yet, no, then make the day to be a legend yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website as well as improve the quality of our streams and our content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can actually subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribers will go to THL Emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest, our website, teamhearthlegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Hearth Legends. Check out the THL POW podcast for power rankings for all series, wherever you find your podcasts. The true Hearth Legend himself, Saku, is posting all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search Team Hearth Legends to catch everything previously recorded. You're, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fanatics out there are THL shows every single day of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some amazing Hearthstone-related content. Special note, we are looking for captains now for all series, especially Hero. So all of you prospective captains out there, please get those applications in. Now back to the good part.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into our quarterfinals. We're going to start off with No Pros here versus Ask HS. In the 1 seed, we have Agent PWE versus Mr. Python. 2 seed Skittles versus Ancat. 3 seed Posca versus Dr. Bombed. 4 seed Disco versus Chewbacca. 5 seed Shunsui versus Kel. All right, for my predictions, I have the 1 seed going to PWE, 2 seed going to Skittles, 3 seed going to Bombed, 4 seed going to Disco, 5 seed going to Kel. That will be 3-2 NPH, and they will continue their perfect season. Ron, what do you think?
I can't pick against NPH. Not only do I think they're going to continue their perfect season, I think it's 5-0 NPH by Kel, by Ask HS. Sorry, guys, but this team is too strong.
All right, Sage?
Is Sage still here? Have we lost Sage?
Sage?
Oh,
I think we've
my
lost
bad.
Sage.
I was muted there because I was having a coffee fit earlier. So I was sitting here talking. Anyways, saying every time I doubt Mr. Python, it bites me in the ass. All right, he turns around and just bites me in the ass and wins. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick him to win in the 1 against Pee Wee, despite Pee Wee's incredible record this season. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Python to win. I think he can do it. Surprise us all. And he'll take it over Pee Wee. In the 2, Skittles is just tearing it up. I think he's going to take it over Zancat. In the 3, Dr. Bomb D is doing pretty decent. I honestly hadn't been paying super close attention to his performance, but he's been doing pretty good. So I'm going to take him over Pasca here. And the 4, Disco's doing pretty good. Shu did really well in the 5, but moving up to the 4 might be a different story. He did take it over G-Kick last week, but G-Kick was also in the 5. I don't know. It's really a tough call here with the Disco versus Chewbacca, but I'm giving it to Disco here. I think he's gonna beat Shu. And in the 5, I like Shunsui over Kel any day of the week. So that gives it 3-2 to NPH. And yeah, I think they're gonna continue having a perfect season as well. Maybe I'll have a different view next week. It could be that they're up against somebody that looks like they could get knocked, So we'll see.
All right, and finally, Rebobson, what do you think?
I'm going to go for some very non-controversial picks and just say that for each match, I think the player with the higher PR is going to win. So I don't think you can bet against PWE at this point. His season's been insane. Skittles has been crazy good. Dr. Bumdy's been pretty good. And like you say, Pasca's had a middling to bad season. Disco's really good, and I think is just a little bit better than Chewbacca. And I think Shunsui's got a slight edge over Kel. Kel is having a bit of a rough season as well. So I think that's going to be 4-1 to NPH, who are just going to carry on.
Very
And
fair.
I will also say they would carry on the tradition of Kel making playoffs and being knocked. So, you gotta stand by tradition, right?
But we got to remember there is another long-standing THL tradition of whenever a team goes undefeated through a regular season, they immediately lose in the first week of playoffs.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
that's true. That's
that's
true.
very fair.
And yet, all of us went against that tradition and picked NPH. So we'll see.
So we've just
if,
cast
all
cursed
of
them
us can
on
be
top
proven
of
wrong.
that.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
screwed.
They are.
They are
the
very
deck is
screwed.
stacked against NPH.
All right. Anyways, next up we have Challenge Stoners versus TMI. Ron, go ahead.
All right, so my team versus Challenge Stoners. This is going to be exciting, and we've got the first match of this series actually going to be played tonight, immediately following the show. Tuesday night bar fight playoff edition between me and Inzi.
I mean, assuming Izzy doesn't chicken out, of course.
They
That's
might
right.
do.
Don't run, Inzi. I did get a message from him that he's good for the match, so we should
Awesome.
be good to go. But to run through these, we have Year of Dardar Binks up against FBM2, our boy Reggie in the 1. We have Always Just in Time versus Ridiculous Hat in the 2. As already mentioned, Inzi versus myself in the 3. Turtle versus Super Murloc in the 4. And Free Hugs versus Jim Philos in the 5. And as is tradition for my TMI picks so far this season, no bias. TMI taking him down pretty much across the board. Year of Dardar Binks, no more. FBM2 gets the win. I'm picking Hat. I'm picking myself. I'm picking Jim Philos. But I got to say, 6-1, 427 PR Turtle. I'm not going to go too overboard. I'm going to say that he probably picks up a win over Murloc here.
I am very closely aligned to Ron here. I think,
I wonder where it
it's
changes.
no longer the year of Dardar Binks because Reggie is taking him down. He's got your number, Dardar. All right, he's got your number, and he's gonna get you. And then in the 2, our hat over Justin every day of the week. Ron over Enzi every day of the year. Jim over Free Hugs again any day of the week. And you know what, Ron? Like, I get it, man. That PR differential, that record is very intimidating. But Super Murloc, he don't care about none of that. He don't care about none of it. All right, he's just gonna get that W. All right, Super Murloc,
There
he's
it
taking
is.
it, man. He's gonna get there.
Classic
It's gonna be
5-0 Sage
5-0.
pick.
TMI, let's go. Yeah.
All right.
No
No,
surprise.
No bias there whatsoever.
No.
no.
Okay.
Pure rationality in all of those picks.
Yes.
I believe
Rebobson,
that would
go
make
ahead.
Super Murloc the big game hunter for the season if he was to get a win here.
I
Oh, he
I,
has to be,
what-
right?
I think so, unless BGH doesn't count playoffs, which it might not.
Oh, it might not. Yeah.
No, I don't think it does actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no fun. But yeah,
No.
Anyways, go ahead, Rebobson.
BGH in our hearts if he gets it.
Yeah.
for my own picks, I'm not going to pick Super Murloc, unfortunately. I think Tell's probably going to get the win there. And I also think the Year of Dardar Binks is going to continue, but I do think the other 3 players on TMI are going to get the wins. I'm putting my money on Hat. I said I was going to bet against Ron, but I think he might have it. And it kills me to say that. And I think Jimmy Clutch and the 5 is gonna clutch it out.
Nice.
What you got to do with Jim is have him play the 5th match of the week, and he'll win. That's what
a
he's been
smart
doing in
strat.
Legacy for us.
Jimmy Clutch.
All right.
So yeah, 3-2 TMI. That's what I'm going for.
I'm personally going Dardar in the 1, Pat in the 2, Ron in the 3, Turtle in the 4, Hugs in the 5, and the only thing that pains me more than saying Sage's team is going to win is saying Inzi's team is going to win. But unfortunately, that's what I'm saying, 3-2.
Yeah, this is a lose-lose
so
for you, Ted.
You're saying Enzi's team is going to win, but he is not going to win.
Yes.
So I forget what you said. It's okay.
Even after I said you're going to lose.
Yeah, it's cool, man. We're going to prove you wrong. All right. And I'm going to throw it in your face next week, bruh.
That's fair. All right. Anyways, next up, Wild Aces versus Transfer Students. And Sage, go ahead.
All right, Wild Aces versus Transfer Students. We got a pretty hot matchup here, man. These guys been doing pretty good, pretty good. We got in the one, we got Bill Snyder 3-3 versus Bach for Life 5-2. In the twos, 5-2 twos against 2-0 Alien Santa. In the 4-3 CMAC versus 4-3 Lemur. Oh my goodness! And in the 4-3 Nine Eyebrows versus 3-4 Chaser. Chaser previously beat Ron earlier in the season, so I got my eye on him. In the 5-4-3 Lord Zeolite versus 5-2 G-Kick. G-Kick absolutely stomping in the 5 this season. These are some tough calls. In the 1, I'm definitely picking Bach for Life here. I think Bill is a very good player, but Bach for Life is he's tuned in a little better, I think. In the 2, Alien picked up his first W of the season, week 1 for my team, and then after being permanently subbed in on the Students, he picked up his second, and I think he is just gonna keep it up, and he's gonna take it in the 2 there over twos. Twos is gonna lose. In the 3, it's I'm sorry, Lemur, but it is very hard to pick against CMAC in the 3. So I'm going to pick CMAC here. In the 4, I like 9. Honestly, like Chaser might have beat Ron, but I don't think that says a whole. I think Ron was just having a down week. You can never tell with him. I mean, he lost to me twice in a row. Who knows?
I love how you bring up
so
Chaser
I'm
beat
thinking-
me every single week when you talk about Chaser's match. God.
It's relevant.
You're very good. You're a very good player, Ron. So like, I always take that into consideration whenever I look at Chaser. Like, how did he drop into the 5 at one point? What the hell? And so I'm gonna pick 9 here in the 4 over Chaser, because I think 9 is even better than Chaser is. And in the 5, I like G-Kick for sure here. G-Kick is just a stud in the 5. He is real tough to beat, and that gives it overall 3-2 to the Students.
All right. I'm personally going Bach in the 1 seed, Alien Santa in the 2 seed, C-Mac in the 3 seed, Chaser in the 4 seed, G-Kick in the 5 for 4-1 transfer.
Bold.
Spicy.
Yep.
Well, I was going to pick Bill Snyder because I've been having fun just picking against Bach for Life all season long. But then I casted a meme tournament with Heatshock just the other day, and Bill just brought full memes, and I think he's going to bring the same lineup again. He's just addicted to those memes, and it's going to cost him. That and Bach told me to continue picking against him. So for that as well, I mean, I don't like Bach telling me what to do. So yeah, Bach wins. Here we go. Bill, maybe get off those memes, buddy, to have a chance. But otherwise, Bach's taking you down with the full Vectus lineup. We got Alien Santa versus twos in the 2. I like the whole twos never lose thing, but also Alien Santa actually never lost twos. You actually lost twice. So, I mean, your moniker's kind of a lie. So we're going Alien Santa in the 2. Let's go, Alien Santa. CMAC versus Lemur in the 3. Man, all right. There's some rules that don't break, and I'm not picking against CMAC. I don't care that he lost to Tuna last week. He brought Shaman. He doesn't bring Shaman this week, and he beats Lemur. In the 4, Nine Eyebrows versus Chaser. I think Nine Eyebrows has a slight edge here. I think he's going to take it in the 4. And in the 5, it all comes down to this tied up 2-2. Zeo Life versus OPG Kick. You know what? Surprise. Zeo Light gets it. Wild Aces win 3-2 in advance.
I just want to say,
So
I really appreciate how you said in the same breath, you're picking Bach because Bill brings meme decks, so Bach's going to win with his 4 Vectus decks.
Yes. You noticed that. Huh?
Vectus isn't a meme.
Vectus is not a meme.
What are you talking about?
It's very clear.
So if
Vectus
Lord
OP.
Zeolite wins this match, right? If BGH was a thing in the playoffs, then even if Super Murloc beat Turtle, he would not get it because then Lord Zeolite, who is already the BGH of the regular season from week 1, would then have BGH again over Super Murloc.
Oh, that's amazing.
Also, I want to give
Oh, wow. Also,
Big-
hey,
oh, yeah,
you
go ahead.
noticed the same thing. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I was going to say big shout out to Base Stink in the chat for a sub. 6 months on a
All
6
right.
month streak. Her comment is 63 to go. I appreciate it.
Nice. Very nice.
Anyways, finally, we have F2L versus Davenham, and of course, Rebobson.
You're not going to take my predictions? I mean, obviously, I'm
for
predicting Wild
Aces
Aces
students?
lose.
Oh my god. Sorry. I got distracted. Go ahead. Sorry, Rebobson.
Yeah, obviously, I'm predicting Wild Aces lose. That's not going to surprise anybody.
Of
But
course.
I am going to say that CMAC and Nine Eyebrows are probably going to win. I think they've got the edge over Lima and Chaser. I think G-Kick is, he's going to take it against Zeolite. I can't root against Alien Santa ever. He's my boy. And I think Buck for Life is going to take it, wrap things up 3-2 to the transfer students. They're going to knock out Wild Aces. Yeet them on out of here.
All right.
Boom.
I want to say that with that, Alien Santa has been caster cursed for this week. On a 2-0 record, he has been cursed.
He's undefeated.
Oh, we've been doing lots of cursing. We cursed Bach too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And CMAC.
Yeah. Everyone's just. Imagine if the match just pans out the complete opposite to what.
That sounds about right.
That'd be kind of funny.
All right. Anyways, finally, we have F2L versus Davenham. Rebobson, go ahead.
Yeah. So this, this is just going to come down to which F2L you get. Is it the first 3 weeks or the last 4 weeks? I'm hoping we show up as the first 3 weeks team. And I think with that team, we're like from 1 to 5, we're kind of just very evenly matched in terms of like PR and player ability just across the board. Like there's, besides Berkshire and Based Egg, everyone's like within about 10 PR of each other. But I think I'm going to predict myself to get a win because I have actually been having a pretty good season and I'm feeling this meta. I think I'm going to get the win against Astral Frog. I think Kazaga going to take it over Diamond. Sorry, Diamond. I know you're in the chat. And I think Itachi is going to take it over Dabs. But I think Based and Boost are going to make things close. I think it's going to be 3-2 to us. I really hope so. We'll see.
All right. I'm personally going Itachi in the 1, Base Ink in the 2, Rebobson in the 3, Booze in the 4, Diamond in the 5. Sorry, but I have to say 3-2 Dab on him.
It's going to be 3-2 either way, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think most reasonable people would think that. Ron, what do you think?
I'm
Fucking
so
Ron.
glad you asked. So let's look at this here. Okay, Itachi versus Dabs. That's going to be real close. Dabs takes it. Based versus Markshire. Not as close. Based takes it. Astral Frog versus Rebobson. Not even close. Astral Frog sweeps. Buse versus the Chronic. Buse takes it. Kazargar does pick up a meaningless victory in the 5, but dab on him. Dabs F2L right out of the playoffs. Get out of here, Rebobson. Get out of here, F2L. Go back on vacation. It's dab on him season.
Fuck your mother.
4-1. That was the desired response. I love it.
All right, and finally, Sage.
All right, man. This is a good matchup right here. We got F2L, the team that sat on their hands for the last 4 weeks of the season, but
Jesus.
opened with a giant bang, versus Dab on him, who was almost undefeated, just rocking it in teal. This is going to be hype. And the 1, I think Itachi takes it over Dabs here. I just think Itachi is not looking to lose in the playoffs. He's going to take it. And the 2, Based with the eyes of a tiger, she is going to take it over Markshire. Both good players, but Based is just incredible. In the 3, sorry, Rebob, but Astral Frog has got your number, man. He's just tearing it up. 6-1, that is ridiculous. And he's gonna give it to you. In the 4, we see the Kronk versus Buse. Buse has been really doing well. I think 4 and 3, just like he's been just giving it to people this season, man. I believe in Buse over the Chronic here. He's gonna give it to the Chronic and pick up that W for Dab on him. And then the 5, it won't even matter, man, because it's like Diamond is just gonna like lose all day, man. Kazargar, he got it. He got it, man. I kind of want to root for Diamond here because of his record, but Kazargar, he's the LHS specialist, right? That's what I heard. But it ain't gonna matter. All right, he's got it. All right, he's got his number, and as it gives it 3-2 to who is it here? To dab on him. Oh, my bad, Rebob. I wasn't even sure where I was going with that at the end there.
Just tangential, as always, Sage.
Hey,
Yes, you'd think I didn't have my picks like right here in front of me.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Robson, this is your opportunity to change your prediction to dab on him to caster curse him.
Nah, I believe.
All right, I like it.
You gotta believe. Love it.
Anyways,
I'm back. I'm backing my team to win.
well,
We got this.
That's it
Maybe.
for our
That's a good move.
playoff preview. But before we get into our first match, we have a few interview questions because Diamond. So anyways, we're
That's right.
starting.
Interview questions brought to you by Diamond.
Yeah, starting off with the Diamond questions. First off, who are you most scared of in playoffs?
Dab on them. So, kind of fucked it there.
Unfortunate. Go figure.
Next up, what was your favorite match of the season?
Oh, that is. I'm gonna say I think it was against Pasca. He very nearly beat my super secret special deck, but I just with no cards in my hand top decked a cheesy win. It was beautiful. I just kept that losing streak going for Pasca. It was undeserved, but I enjoyed it.
All right. What's prep like in the F2L Discord?
I think I generally get a lot of the discussion going at the start of the week. Tell everyone what they're playing. Tell everyone what they've brought. Get some idea as to what might be good. And just kind of try to get people talking. Make sure that they have been they have played some Hearthstone. That's been the past week. Just, have you played any games in the past week?
That's fair.
Solid. Yeah. And then you talk about Among Us and play some Among Us games.
Yeah, then it's just chat a lot of shit. It's generally the way it goes. A lot of arguing with Itachi. That's quite a common
That sounds about
theme.
right.
Yeah.
I remember that from when I was a teammate with Itachi.
I was gonna say, I think anybody who's ever been a teammate with Itachi understands that.
Yeah, I'm very similar to be on a team with as Itachi. There's a lot of you're wrong. No, you're fucking wrong. No, you're wrong. Fuck you. That's kind of the way it goes. But we eventually arrive at some kind of consensus, and that's what we roll with. But yeah, we've got a lot of other people in like the F2L Discord from all the other teams, so there's also just a lot of chatting shit.
That's fair.
It's beautiful.
Where does your name come from?
It's an kind of amalgam of some nicknames I had in high school. My surname is Robson. There was a English football manager many years ago called Bobby Robson, and teenage boys, they can't think of like original names to say for their lives. They're 11.
Yeah.
So I just got called Bobby. Then I got called Bobson. Then I got called every other variation of Bobson. Bobbers, Bobatron, Bobblehead, you name it. Then some bright spark came up with Rebob, and then I was like, I'm just going to make it Rebobson. When you first create that Blizzard account, you're like, it asks you what name would you like, and you're just like, shit, Rebobson. Just rolled with that and kind of stuck with that ever since. Don't really call myself it anywhere else, but it's worked.
And final question from Diamond. He says, "Well, this isn't really a question, but acidic swamp is."
Fuck off, Clay.
we did.
I don't even
from the audio. What?
I don't even know if most people in THL even understand the reference at this point.
I definitely don't.
It's a really old THL meme at this point because playing like seasons ago in the streamed finals for Legacy against Glay, I was playing Even Sharp. He played Q Block. He played Skull on 5, and I was really stressed, and I forgot that Acidic Swamp Ooze destroys Skull and didn't play it. So I just left Acidic Swamp Ooze in my hand against a Q Block who just played Skull.
Oh my goodness.
That was my proudest moment. Like,
I can tell.
To anyone who's ever worried about being on stream, you're not going to fuck up harder than that.
Wait, hold on. Ron, did you just say next level?
Yeah.
That's really hilarious.
Was he on team next level?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a good joke until you explained it, and now you fucked it, Ron.
Well, see. I just had to make sure because I'm pretty sure Ron didn't say that intentionally.
Yeah. So we did get 2 questions from the audience. Maybe we got more. I forget. I didn't look past the first 2. But the first one is from Osmonaut, and he asks, "What conditioner do you use, Rebob?"
I use Alberto Balsam's Fresh Summer Raspberry Conditioner.
That sounds very fancy.
It's beautiful.
Is it fancy?
Wow.
Does it make your hair smell good?
My hair smells of
shiny.
raspberries. It's incredible. It's also quite cheap. So
I'm gonna drive the ladies.
I'm not actually being fancy at all. It costs like £1. Pretend fancy is the name of the game.
Yes, indeed it is. So, and Matt at Arms had a question for you, and I actually almost forgot that this was a podcast you did for a long time. He asked, "When's the next episode of Around the Hearth?"
Sometime within the next 5 years, I'd say. I think the last episode of that was like coming up to 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I remember you were doing that podcast whenever I'd first met you. I'd had you on a team, and that's how I got to know you. And I'm sorry that I put you through that horrible atrocity that team was, man. But I'm
I don't know.
glad we can also be friends.
No, I don't think anyone else knows this, but Sage was my first ever captain in Hero, and the team was the biggest shit show I've ever encountered. Arcturus.
Well, you heard it here first, though, listeners. Stay tuned for a very much coming soon new episode of Around the Hearth.
Yeah, but
one day,
very soon.
Yeah, but anyways, we do have a bar fight to get to, so I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you stick around for about 10 minutes or so, and we'll be back.
Boom.
See you guys.
Thanks, everybody.